Hey guys, today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial about Edmodo in case you haven't used it before. If you haven't used it before, it's really simple. The address is edmodo.com, and once you get here, you'll get to this screen. If you've never used it before, you're going to click I'm a student, and here is where you sign up. So the first thing you need to do is put in your group code. This is the code that I gave you. It is on your syllabus at the very top. Then you're going to create a username and password. Make sure that you remember your username and password. Some of you will create this and then use the app for this on your phone and never log back in. You will have to log back in when we do papers in class on the computers, so you need to make sure you remember your username and password. Keep it somewhere where you can look back on it. Then you can add an email address. That is optional, but if you forget your password, that's one way that you can get help with that. Next, your first and last name. You do have to put your real first and last name because I will be grading assignments on here and I need to have your real name. Last, you just click the terms of service and then sign up. Now, if you already have one, you will just log in using your old username and password. So if you had a class that used this last semester or even last year, you're welcome to use your old username and password. There's still a way you can join my class and keep all of the stuff you've already done on there. So I'm going to log in real quick under an example student I have, and then we'll take a look at some of the features. So here's an example of what your page might look like, and I'm just going to go over a few of the main things. One, if you have an old account and you need to sign up to my class, you have other classes here, all you have to do is click this plus button by groups and put in our group code. Again, that's on our syllabus. Once you put that in and click join, you will see my class pop up on this side and you can access it. But for now, let's take a look at some of the features on here. So first you have the home button, which always brings you back to this page. Next is progress. This is where you can see your grades. So if you click progress, if you have multiple classes, you can click on whichever one you want. I'm going to click on an old class I have here. So as you get started, you'll see not very many or maybe even no assignments for our class, but once we get going, you'll see some more. Like I said, this is an old class. So all the assignments that we've ever done, you'll be able to see on this progress page. And this is an example, so you won't see all the features here, but normally there will be a grade here if something is turned in. If it says not turned in, that means you haven't turned it in. If it says waiting, that means you've turned it in, but there's not been a grade for it yet. And then if there is a grade, the grade will show up right there. Also, you'll have a total points grade right here. Now, make sure that you don't think that this is your actual grade for the class. We will be doing a lot of assignments in class that aren't on Edmodo. Those grades will be on School Fusion. So you need to trust your School Fusion grade, not your Edmodo grade. Now this is a great way to quickly see what your grade is on an Edmodo assignment, but it does not show all the grades for the class. So if you're ever looking for an assignment that's perhaps old and you don't want to go scroll through all your newsfeed to find it, click this progress button and you will find all of the assignments and you can quickly see whether you've turned them in or not and what your grades are. The next button over here is your backpack. This is extremely important. We will be using this in class a lot. So your backpack is a place where you can store files online. This is extremely helpful if you've ever saved a file to a computer and then the computer broke, or then you had to go home and couldn't work on it because it was at school or it was at home or wherever it was, on a flash drive that broke. Any of those problems are solved by using the backpack. And I will ask you to please use this or use something like this, because I don't take excuses of this was left on a flash drive that broke or on a computer or in the library. Remember, saving things to the library computers does not ensure that they're safe. We may not be back to those computers for a while and they may clean out those hard drives. You do not want to save to those. You want to always save to your backpack or something like it. So what to do to add to the backpack, you can see there's two buttons here, one up here and one in the middle. So to save a file to your backpack, all you have to do is click Add to Backpack and then upload a file. So I'm just going to pick a random file here, but whatever file you're trying to save, open it up, and then make sure you hit Add. Alright, and so now you have it saved in your backpack. That means when you log on to Edmodo at home or at school or wherever you are, you can have this file. Now, make sure that if you go to edit this file, if you open it up, you're going to have to save it again as a new file to your backpack. It does not automatically save to your backpack. Another thing you can do in your backpack is if you have a Google Drive, this is basically the same thing as Google Drive, you can connect it. So I have a Google Drive, and so it's going to load lots of documents. But you can just connect it to your Google Drive. It'll come up, just enter your Gmail account, and so it'll be an easy place to have more access to your Google account. It's also a quick place to access anything you've turned in. So any turned in assignments will be right here in the turned in folder, so you can get to any of those. And you can create folders to organize your backpack if you want to do it by class or anything else like that. Alright, let's move on over here. This is just notifications, so this will show up just like on Facebook, how it'll give you a little number with notifications. That'll come up for that. Nothing new is going on right now. Here is your account, so you can look at your profile. This is where you can change your picture, do other few things, put a favorite quote, stuff like this, personalize it a bit. Next is settings. This is important because, again, here's where you upload a photo. You can put in any of your information, but a really cool feature is email and text updates. So if you would like an email or a text whenever a new assignment is posted or a quiz or anything like this, anything is posted, you can go through and click that. Click whether you want text message, or if you add an email address, you'll have an option there to put email, and then you save that. So if you want a text when an assignment is posted, you can get that. Also, here's where you can reset your password if you need to do that. Alright, next thing, let's go back home. And you see down here there's a place for a parent code. If your parent wants to log in using a parent code, this is your individual code for you, so your parents can see what you are doing. Now, don't think that just because you don't give them that code that they can't get it. I have a list of them as well, and I will give that to them. So if they ask, go ahead and give them that code. Alright, let's move on to how to turn in assignments. So you'll see down here are some old assignments, and when there's an assignment posted, there'll be a due date, description, maybe some files to go along with it. What you can do to look at any files on Edmodo, whether it's something I've attached to go along with an assignment or something that you want to look at, such as a file you've already uploaded or corrections I've made to one of your papers, you can either download the file by clicking the name or the picture, or one thing you can do is click this little eyeball. That'll give you a preview of it. So it'll pop up, and you can get a little closer to it, but it'll pop up in a web browser. This is helpful in case, for instance, if I upload something in Word and you don't have Word at home, you can use this preview and it will let you look at it even if you don't have Word at home. But to turn in an assignment, all you have to do is click the Turn In button. And you'll see a few things here. One is that it'll tell you if it's late or not, so that's important. If it is late, you can still turn it in, so make sure that doesn't dissuade you from turning something in. There are a few ways to turn something in. First, let's say I ask you to write a paragraph. You can type a paragraph in this comment section, or this is really not the comment section, this is just a place to respond. So you can do that here. And what you also have to do is click one of these spaces before you turn something in. It usually will not let you turn it in before you click one, so just click whatever, I don't care. And then, if you have something bigger like a Word document, like a paper, you can click File, and pick a document from your computer, and upload it. Now, one thing that is important, it is best for me if you upload a Word document if you are doing a paper, because those are the only file types that allow me to make corrections to. So you want to try, if at all possible, to make sure it's in Word first. A few other formats I can open, but try to put it in Word. You can also add something from your backpack. So let's say you saved it from your backpack. Instead of going to your backpack and saving it to computer, then uploading it, You can turn in an assignment directly from your backpack by clicking backpack, and then anything that's in there you can click, or again in Google Drive, attach to post, and then it's there, and click turn in assignment. And make sure you wait. Don't just click that button and go. You need to wait until it shows up completed. So here's what it looks like when it's turned in. You can see there's where I did the comment, and here are the two files. Now you can do a few things at this point. Let's say you realized you forgot to indent or forgot to do something on here. You can resubmit your assignment before it's graded, and it'll show me both revisions. So let's say you turned in something on time and then you remembered something and wanted to change or add to it. I'll see that you turned it in on time and then resubmitted something later. I can see both versions. So there's the original and the new revision. You can again type, and you can do the same, upload a file or pull something from your backpack. This is a link in case you ever want to submit a link. Again, you'll have to click Turn in Assignment for that to go through, and make sure you wait for it to go through. One thing is, once I've graded something, you cannot resubmit. That will not come up. So let's say you have corrections. I've graded a paper and you want to resubmit corrections. You can do that in the comment section. You can also make other comments here about the assignment. So you can type your comment here. If you're submitting corrections, you can submit a file right here as a comment, right there, or a file from your backpack, and add comment. That is how I can get corrections from you. Alright, and finally, over here you will have a space, kind of like a Facebook status, where you can type something and you can send that out. Now there's a few things you can do here. You can ask questions or whatever you need to do, and you can send that to me, or you can send it to the whole class. So if you have a question on homework, you can send it to me, or if it's something your classmates can answer, you can send it out to the whole class and maybe get a response from one of them as a reply. Speaking of replies, when you have an assignment, you want to make sure that you actually turn it in. If you turn it in, it will say turned in. Let's go to some of these later ones. So for some of these, for instance this one, if you want to turn in your research notes, you want to click turn in to do it. You do not want to just reply as a comment. Let's try to see another example here. Alright, here. So for a book update, you want to actually turn in the assignment there. You do not want to type your response as a comment, because that makes it much more difficult for me to grade, and sometimes I miss those. So you want to actually turn it in. So one more thing to look at. Notice there is now a notification up here. I have one new grade and one assignment comment. You want to look at all of these comments that I give you. So let's take a look at the grade first. So I received a 50 out of 50, and I can go look at it. You do want to look at it, especially on papers. So here's the assignment we just turned in. Now what you need to look at is this little button that says annotate. So what happens when you turn in a paper or something else is I can write on it and give you feedback. So if we click on that, it should bring up my feedback. So you see I put a number here, I wrote a comment over here. So you'll be able to see those comments that I make on your papers when pulling this up if you click that button. This is important because if you want to make corrections, I list out on here everything you need to correct. So again, if you've turned something in, it's this little annotate button, and you can see that. I can also make comments down here. So if I say you should revise this, you can see that. And that is it. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions.